Every day, the Department of Homeland Security and the Coast Guard patrol our oceans and protect us from harm. They do this with a combination of aircraft and vessels, most notably powerboats, specifically engineered for high-speed pursuit, able to close distance like no other. From models like the safe boat's Interceptor 41 with military-grade precision steering to the XSV-17 Thunderchild that can autocorrect itself upright if capsized. Join us as we explore the 10 fastest chase boats used to take down drug runners. 10. The Metal Shark 40 Defiant. Smugglers once believed that twisting through narrow waterways gave them an advantage. In 2018, that myth was shattered by the Metal Shark 40 Defiant. A group of traffickers loaded with millions in narcotics tried to escape through the tight mangroves of the Florida Keys. They assumed no patrol boat could navigate the sharp turns at high speeds, but they underestimated the relentless agility of the Metal Shark. This 50-knot, 57-miles-per-hour beast is built for precision maneuvers. Its specially designed hull allows it to pivot instantly, making it perfect for pursuing criminals in confined spaces. As the traffickers twisted through the waterways, the Metal Shark stayed on their tail, closing the gap with every turn. Then officers made their move. They used the boat's reinforced bow, designed for high-speed impact, to ram the fleeing vessel, bringing the chase to an abrupt halt. With nowhere left to turn, the criminals surrendered, and authorities seized over 2,000 pounds of narcotics. This wasn't an isolated case. The Metal Shark has been instrumental in multiple high-speed chases, proving that no matter how well criminals plan their escape, this vessel is built to shut them down. But when traffickers think they can disappear into open waters, another machine is waiting to hunt them down. And this one is even deadlier. 9. The CB-90 Fast Assault Craft. A high-speed drug boat carrying $45 million in cocaine thought the darkness of the ocean would keep them safe. The CB-90 proved them wrong. In 2019, off the coast of Colombia, a cartel's go-fast boat disappeared into the night, hoping to outrun law enforcement. Their plan was simple: outpace the pursuers, disappear into open waters, and vanish before sunrise. However, they didn't count on the CB-90's thermal imaging and drone surveillance. This 50-plus knot, 57-plus mile-per-hour military-grade vessel was originally built for the Swedish Navy, but its unmatched tracking capabilities made it one of the most feared pursuit boats in the world. As the traffickers powered through the waves, a CB-90 drone locked onto their heat signature. Moments later, the boat roared through the darkness, cutting through the water at blistering speeds. Realizing they were trapped, the smugglers set their own boat on fire, hoping to destroy the evidence, but the CB-90 didn't hesitate. Its reinforced hull smashed through the burning wreckage, allowing authorities to recover key evidence and secure one of the biggest maritime drug busts ever. This wasn't just a case, it was a clear message to traffickers. No matter how fast they think they are, the CB-90 is always faster. And the next vessel on this list is even more terrifying. It's armored, it's ruthless, and it makes criminals give up before they even start running. 8. The safe boat's Interceptor 41. A group of traffickers once thought they had the perfect escape plan. They had speed, darkness, and a head start. What they didn't know was that the safe boat's Interceptor 41 was already waiting for them. In 2021, off the Florida coast, a high-speed pursuit ended almost as soon as it began. The moment law enforcement deployed the Interceptor 41, the chase became one-sided. This vessel reaches 60 knots, 69 miles per hour with military-grade precision steering, allowing it to corner fleeing boats before they even realize what's happening. In this case, the traffickers barely had time to react before the Interceptor cut directly into their path, forcing them to stop. However, speed is only part of what makes this vessel terrifying. It is also built for endurance and impact. Its reinforced aluminum hull can withstand direct gunfire in harsh ocean conditions without slowing down. Even in rough waters, the Interceptor maintains stability, allowing officers to operate at full capacity while smugglers struggle to keep control of their boats. And if traffickers think they can slip away under the cover of night, they're in for a shock. The Interceptor is equipped with thermal imaging, night vision optics, and high-powered searchlights, making escape virtually impossible. When this boat is deployed, criminals don't have time to strategize. They either surrender or risk crashing headfirst into an unstoppable force. But some boats don't need to be armored to be dangerous. The next one hides in plain sight, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. 7. The Nortech 450 Sport. A luxury speedboat floating near a cartel operation should have raised no alarms. It looked like another rich tourist enjoying the ocean breeze, but within seconds it transformed into a high-speed enforcement unit, cutting off the smugglers before they could react. In 2020, a South American cartel attempted to move narcotics through coastal waters using their own fleet of high-performance speedboats. Their mistake? They underestimated law enforcement's ability to blend in. The Nortech 450 Sport, often mistaken for a high-end pleasure craft, is actually a law enforcement pursuit vessel disguised as a civilian boat. Its quad 450 horsepower engines generate an astonishing 78 miles per hour, 68 knots, allowing it to keep pace with even the fastest trafficker boats. However, its true power lies in its element of surprise. Unlike traditional patrol boats, which can be spotted from miles away, the Nortech can sit unnoticed in crowded harbors, monitoring traffickers without raising suspicion. When the moment is right, it shifts from silent observer to relentless pursuer in a matter of seconds. That's exactly what happened in 2020. As cartel boats left port, the Nortech accelerated from a standstill, catching them before they could spread out in open waters. The chase lasted minutes, and by the time the traffickers realized what was happening, their escape routes were already sealed. This incident proved that criminals can no longer trust the sea to protect them. Any boat at any time could be the one that takes them down. And if they think they've seen the worst, they haven't met the machine that can chase them through absolute chaos. 6. The Midnight Express 39 Interceptor. A speedboat packed with over $70 million worth of narcotics vanished into the darkness. No lights, no radio, just open water and silence. The traffickers thought they were safe until the Midnight Express 39 Interceptor appeared like a ghost beside them. This wasn't a coincidence. This was a calculated ambush. The Midnight Express 39 Interceptor is one of the fastest and stealthiest boats ever deployed in drug enforcement. With a top speed of 78 plus miles per hour, 68 knots, it moves so fast that criminals often don't realize they're being chased until it's too late. However, speed alone does not make this vessel terrifying. It's invisible at night. Its low-profile design and matte finish absorb light, making it nearly impossible to spot from a distance. Smugglers who rely on darkness to evade capture suddenly find themselves caught in the beam of a high-powered searchlight, completely exposed. That's what happened in 2022, when a Midnight Express unit tracked a high-value cartel shipment across the Caribbean. The traffickers assumed they had escaped radar detection, but this boat was watching them the entire time. By the time they realized they were being pursued, the Midnight Express had already blocked their exit route, cutting them off from deeper waters. The bust was immediate and ruthless, securing one of the biggest maritime drug seizures of the year. Smugglers have learned one thing. If they can't see what's chasing them, it's probably already too late. But some boats don't just chase criminals, they overpower them. And the next one on this list is built for war. Number 5. The Mark V Special Operations Craft. A cartel's fastest boat tore through open waters, moving at full throttle. They had distance, they had momentum, but then the ocean started shaking. Behind them, the MKV Special Operations Craft was closing in, and escape was no longer an option. This vessel is a military-grade powerhouse designed for special operations and high-intensity pursuits. It doesn't just track criminals, it dominates them. The MKV delivers a top speed of 69 miles per hour and is built to withstand full-force impact. Unlike traditional chase boats, this one is armored. It can take gunfire, rough weather, and full-speed collisions without losing control. And when it reaches target, it doesn't just stop criminals, it dismantles their entire operation. That's exactly what happened in 2019. A cartel smuggling ring had been using high-speed boats to outrun patrols. They believed no law enforcement vessel could match their speed and firepower at the same time. But then the MKV was deployed. With 16 heavily armored commandos on board, the MKV didn't just pursue, it forced the smugglers into an unwinnable fight. As the traffickers tried to weave through the waves, the MKV blasted through 10-foot swells without slowing down. The chase ended when the traffickers, out of operations, abandoned their boat and attempted to swim to shore, only to be intercepted by helicopters waiting ahead. This operation was over in minutes, proving that some boats don't chase criminals, they destroy them. But even a heavily armored war machine can't compare to what's coming next. The next vessel is so advanced, so fast, that smugglers don't even get a chance to react. 4. The Fincantieri CPED 60. A smuggler's boat raced across the Mediterranean, confident they had outrun law enforcement. They had speed, distance, and open water ahead. But then, out of nowhere, a vessel shot past them like a missile. It wasn't just a chase anymore, it was an ambush. The Fincantieri CPED 60 is a hydrofoil-assisted interceptor, capable of reaching 80 knots, 92 miles per hour, one of the fastest law enforcement vessels on the planet. It doesn't just ride on the water, it glides above it. Unlike traditional hulls, this vessel is equipped with hydrofoils that lift it above the waves, reducing drag and increasing speed dramatically. While smugglers fight against rough waters, the CPED 60 moves effortlessly, maintaining full control at insane speeds. But here's what makes it truly devastating. In addition to speed, the CPED 60 is all about control. It was built for the Italian Navy's anti-smuggling operations, meaning it can track and disable targets with military-grade precision. In one of its most famous busts, the CPED 60 intercepted a cartel's high-speed transport boat carrying over $200 million worth of contraband. The smugglers were armed and desperate, trying to weave through unpredictable waters, but the CPED 60 adjusted effortlessly, matching every move and closing the gap within minutes. As soon as law enforcement made contact, the smugglers surrendered without a fight. They knew there was no point. When the CPED 60 is chasing you, outrunning it is impossible. The only choice is giving up. But while this vessel dominates the ocean, the next one can hunt criminals in the roughest waters on Earth. 3. The XSV-17 Thunderchild. A hurricane was tearing through the Atlantic, with 20-foot waves crashing violently. No patrol boat would dare enter these conditions. No one except the XSV-17 Thunderchild. While drug runners rely on rough waters to make their escapes, this boat turns chaos into an advantage. The XSV-17 Thunderchild is an unsinkable pursuit vessel that can flip itself upright if capsized. No matter how extreme the conditions, this boat will not stop. Despite its top speed of 100 knots, 115 miles per hour, Thunderchild is engineered for survival. Even if criminals think they can escape by heading into storm conditions, this vessel will chase them through the worst weather imaginable. That's exactly what happened in 2021. A smuggling operation attempted to move their cargo during an incoming storm, hoping no patrol boats would follow, but the Thunderchild was already deployed. As the traffickers pushed deeper into rough seas, waves slammed against their hull, slowing them down. Meanwhile, the Thunderchild cut through the storm like a blade, maintaining full speed despite the brutal conditions. By the time smugglers realized they had been followed, it was too late. Aerial surveillance had already locked in their position and multiple patrol units were moving in. Criminals had gambled on the storm saving them, but they never expected a boat that could chase them through hell. At this point, we're not just talking about high-speed boats anymore. The top two on this list redefine the very concept of pursuit. And number 2, it doesn't just chase criminals, it disappears before they even know it's there. 2. The Skjold class Corvette. A cartel speedboat raced toward international waters, hoping to vanish before law enforcement could intervene. They thought they had the upper hand until their radar screens went blank. Something was approaching, but they couldn't see it. And then, out of nowhere, a massive vessel appeared behind them. This wasn't just another chase boat. This was the Skjold class Corvette, one of the fastest stealth warships ever built. Designed for high-speed military operations, this Norwegian-built vessel is unlike anything criminals have ever faced. It reached speeds of 60-plus knots, 69 miles per hour, but that's not what makes it terrifying. It's nearly invisible to radar. Smugglers rely on radar detection to plan escape routes. The Skjold class disrupts that entire strategy. It moves at breakneck speed, but thanks to its stealth technology, traffickers don't even know it's coming. That's exactly what happened in one of the most controversial drug busts in European waters. A multi-million-dollar smuggling operation was using high-performance boats to transport narcotics. They thought they had complete control, watching for patrols, mapping out radar signals, and adjusting their routes in real time. But what they didn't expect was a warship hunting them without being seen. When the Skjold-class Corvette intercepted the traffickers, They were completely unprepared. Their radar had shown nothing until the vessel was already at their backs, blocking their escape route. Realizing they had no choice, they abandoned their cargo and tried to flee in separate directions. But with military-grade tracking systems and advanced aerial support, law enforcement had them locked in. This operation sent a clear message. If the Skjold-class Corvette is after you, you won't see it coming until it's too late. But as incredible as this warship is, it doesn't compare to the fastest boat ever recorded in history. And number 1, this vessel is so fast that criminals wouldn't even have time to react before they're caught. 1. The Spirit of Australia 2. A record-breaking speedboat flew across the water at an unimaginable 318 miles per hour, 276 knots. At this speed, even the fastest chase boats in the world wouldn't stand a chance. If law enforcement had access to something like this, drug runners would be out of business overnight. This is the Spirit of Australia 2, the fastest boat ever built. While it's not a law enforcement vessel, the sheer possibility of boats reaching these speeds could completely redefine high-speed chases at sea. Originally designed for speed record-breaking attempts, the Spirit of Australia was built using a jet-powered engine capable of pushing past the limits of any traditional boat. If future boats even reach half of this speed, smugglers would have zero chance of escape. Imagine a world where law enforcement operates at over 150 miles per hour on water. Criminals wouldn't even have time to start their engines before being taken down. However, advances in high-speed marine engineering suggest that the next generation of chase boats could exceed every limit known today. And when that happens, drug smugglers might finally realize that the ocean no longer belongs to them. Smugglers thought the ocean was their escape, until these boats made it their trap. Which one do you think is the deadliest? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because next time, we're taking things even further.